señores, llamamos a Claudio Calasans.
Jessica Dorada announcing Claudio Calasans making his way to the mat. Claudio Calasans, a veteran of Copa Podio, representing Atos Jiu-Jitsu.
Erberth Santos.
Claudio's opponent, Erberth Santos, also a veteran of Copa Podio, one of the biggest names in the jiu-jitsu world at this time. This should be an exciting matchup.
We have a war getting ready to happen here. It's going to be interesting to see if Calasans can slow down the pace and aggression of Erberth Santos.
I think that's going to be the only way to, really contend with Erberth's speed, aggressiveness, super aggressive style. Here we go. Referee starts the match. Erberth Santos in the white kimono. Claudio Calasans in the blue Storm kimono. Big shout out to Storm Kimonos for sponsoring this competition. Erberth trying to pull a fake guard pull. Looking to open up the grips here. What I like about this matchup is both competitors will do it all. They'll pull guard, they'll stand up and exchange throws, they'll stand up and exchange takedown attempts. Should be an aggressive match.
Erberth and Calasans right now fighting for the grips. Both really comfortable on their feet. The judo of Erberth is just lit, as some might say.
What I like to see about Erberth is not only the judo stand-up, but he mixes judo with guard pulls, with flying triangles.
Like we just saw here today.
Pulling guard right away. Trying to get the sweep earlier on Calasans. 1 minute into this opening match of the green group. Once again, this is the green group matchup. 5 points will be awarded if somebody gets a submission. 3 points if somebody wins by points. 2 points for an advantage, and each competitor will both get 1 point for a draw. Erberth motioning with that foot once again. Calasans taking his time.
What a nice shot attempt here by Calasans. Ooh, leg entry here by Erberth. Looking to pass the leg to the 50-50. Calasans does that really well, where he'll get on one side and then use his cross grip to get the cross collar of his opponent, and then come up and leg drag from there.
Erberth Santos having a huge year, actually a huge last couple of years. Made his debut here at Copa Podio a few years back. Now returns here to Copa Podio in Argentina, battling Calasans.
This is that position I talked to you about, Ricardo, about Calasans really slowing down the match in his 50-50. And Erberth is seeing that here right now. He's going to have to find an answer for this position.
This is not, where we would normally see Erberth and Santos. We normally see him, starting the match, doing a throw or a takedown or a flying triangle pull and sort of dominating the position. So exactly what you said, Calasans using this 50-50 position to dominate, coming up on top now. Calasans sort of controlling Erberth, using his experience to take Erberth out of his game.
Here's that high collar grip by Calasans, while his opponent Erberth is trying to figure out what he's going to do.
Erberth really likes to dump his opponents forward. Those takedown attempts. Calasans, no stranger. They're very similar in a sense that you'll see it all from them. Submission attempts, judo, wrestling, guard pulls even.
Another guard pull by Erberth. Here we are, less than 3 minutes to go in the opening match of the green group for the Grand Prix. Erberth Santos versus Claudio Calasans. We are zeros across the board.
As you mentioned earlier, AJ, you mentioned the big weight cut that Erberth had. I mean, we're really not seeing the same game that Erberth usually plays in his other competitions. You know, I've yet to really see him pull guard this many times in one match. So it'd be, you know, is the weight cut affecting him at this point, do you think?
Well, it may be affecting him in the sense that he is taking things slow initially so he doesn't burn himself out. And he may be feeling really content and safe here, and you might see an explosion happen within the last minute and a half, minute to go of this match. Which that was a very tactical pull that we saw from Erberth earlier. But then he goes right back up to stand up here with just about 2 minutes left. I could see things picking up in about 45 seconds. Nice shot attempt by Erberth Santos. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is match number 1 of the green group for the Grand Prix of the middleweights. What beautiful pink tape Erberth has.
Referee restarts the action. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. 0 points awarded, 0 advantages. Anybody's match right here. As Erberth did earlier on, you know, don't be shocked to see Calasans pulling guard. But probably not the smartest strategy against a fast-paced passer as Erberth Santos.
I don't see Calasans pulling guard against Erberth.
Calasans.
That's a nice pass attempt here by Calasans. Can we see Erberth try to come up with a single? He's got his hand in the collar.
You know, Erberth's guard is very aggressive, but it's not very, you know, it's not very sweep oriented. It's very, I wouldn't say that it's not technical, but it's definitely different. He uses space to control distance. He makes his grips to, you know, sort of make sure he's controlling his opponent, but you're more often than not see him stand up or try submission attempts rather than sweeps or back takes.
Right. That's a good observation, Ricardo. We have something to see here within the minute and 10 seconds left in the match.
Calasans.
Somebody's got to make something happen here.
Well, Calasans is partially passed, but he's not pinning Erberth's back down to get that advantage.
I could potentially see Erberth here doing an arm drag or a collar drag.
Really sucked to have these guys end the first match in a draw, but you know what? There's a lot of strategy when you're fighting in a Grand Prix. You want to reserve yourself, especially in the Copa Podio, where you're going to have potentially a ton of dangerous matches. Calasans now entering in the guard of Erberth Santos, stacking Erberth.
I think Erberth knows that this is going to be, he may feel that this is going to be the toughest match that he will have in his division, in his group. So he may be taking things a little bit slower to begin with. But also, like we talked about earlier, Ricardo, this weight cut could be a factor here. There's 22 seconds left. Neither athlete has a point or advantage on the board. Something's got to happen, or it's going to be in the hand of the judges.
Well, I'll say it right now. This is not the Erberth Santos that we're used to seeing.
100%.
Something is definitely up. Either he's, you know, tired from the weight cut, feeling a little bit of, you know, feeling a little bit of depletion in energy, or is it simply just a strategy that we're not really, you know, we just don't understand. But Calasans is the experienced man, trying to get that double underpass. Oh, and as I see that, Erberth almost sweeping Calasans off the double underpass. Very tricky position.
Erberth cut almost 14 kilograms.
Wow.
That's almost 30 pounds.
I saw him at dinner last night, and he looked at me and said, "Do you know how much I weigh right now?" And I think it was 92 kilos, and the division is 86, so that's an insane cut. 9 seconds left in the match. Here we go. Calasans continuing to try to pass the tricky guard of Erberth Santos. Erberth with a final sweep attempt, and very disappointed. There's Erberth Santos standing up, and it looks like this match will end in a draw. Yeah, definitely not what we thought would happen. You know, I thought this would be I definitely thought there'd be a lot more submission attempts. You know, like I said, really not the Erberth we're used to seeing today. You know, hopefully he's a little bit more warmed up now. Maybe he's going to start to get a little bit more loosened up, and maybe we'll see that Erberth, that exciting Erberth that we normally see in competitions. Very tough match, ends in a draw. As I said, both men will